Hey up, and welcome to Yellowbelly Presents with me, Joe Law. Today we welcome one of the most powerful voices in musical theatre, a Broadway and West End star whose performances are as bold as they are breathtaking. From North Carolina to the West End, Marisha Wallace has lit up the stage in Dreamgirls, Waitress, Guys and Dolls, and most recently as Sally Bowles in Cabaret. Now she's set to bring the house down once again, this time on Broadway.
With systematic racism, I don't think people realize the hierarchy of character types that you can play as a black woman and as a curvy black woman is very limited.
She's a two-time Olivier nominee, a soul singer, a celebrity Big Brother fan favourite, and a fearless advocate for joy, resilience, and representation.
And this is how we protest.
Yeah.
This is how we fight. The government can't control what goes on in that room. Like, everyone comes into that room, and then we can change your mind just like that. We can change your mind in 2.5 hours.
We are absolutely thrilled to sit down with the incomparable Marisha Wallace. Marisha, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Marisha, first of all, congratulations on your new British citizenship.
Woo! I'm British.
So you already had the right to live in Britain as much as you wanted and work in Britain as much as you liked. So what made you want to take the next step and become a full Brit?
Well, I think it almost felt like a graduation and a wedding and an adoption all in the same thing. I was like, I want my papers. Like, I want to be like legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I just felt like when I came here, I found my home, and I felt more of a citizen of this country as much as I felt a citizen of America, because everyone embraced me so much. And I've met the king, and the king congratulated me on my citizenship. I was like, so I might as well, do it. And then I had to take the test, which was very hard. I was like, I don't even know if British people can pass this test.
You definitely know more about Britain.
It was a lot. I studied for 2 months for this test, and it just felt like just a completion of.
Amazing.
And then the ceremony was so beautiful. Like, all of my friends that I've made here, all my London family, like my British family was here. And these were people who didn't know me my whole life. And these are people who've chosen to love me. And that was just a beautiful thing, like to come together. So I just thought, I just want to have both. Because I feel so much both British and American. So I just wanted to seal the deal, get my paperwork. Now I got both passports too. So I can work anywhere. So hire me.
Well, Britain's a much better place with you as one of a number.
Thank you.
And it's such a powerful feeling, the feeling of home.
Yeah.
Especially when you leave where you're from originally and then you feel embraced by another culture and another people.
Yeah, it just was not anything ever. This place was not even on my radar when I was growing up as somewhere I was going to live and work and thrive. You know how you have like the plan for your life of how you want it to go. And for me, it was always, I'm going to get to Broadway, and then that's, that's what's going to happen for me. And then I got to Broadway and I was like, oh, but there must be something else. I just always felt like, is this it? Like, is that all? And I was very happy. I was in the ensemble, but I just always felt like there was more for me. And I was at the time when I did leave, I was in a terrible relationship, and I was working on Broadway, and I thought everything was going to be perfect. And that was the only thing that was actually going right in my life at the time. And I was praying for a way out of this relationship. And then I got a call to come to London overnight. And I was like, what? They were like, can you come to London tonight? Do you want to play Effie White in Dreamgirls? And I had originally was going to be Amber Riley's standby. But then last minute, they were like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to get people from the UK, which is fine because it costs so much money to bring people over from the States. And then the show went up. And then after that, they said no to me. I took it upon myself to go do Dreamgirls in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I left my Broadway show.
Wow.
Took a pay cut and just did the show for me. Like, I was like, I need to do this for me. Like, I need to play this role for me. And then somewhere in the back of my mind was like, and if they need me, I'm going to be ready. And then it was not even 2 weeks that I came back to Something Rotten. And they let me out of my Broadway show to do this, by the way, which never happens.
Wow.
They let me out for 3 months. I came back. I was back in something around for like 2 weeks, and I got the call to come to London.
So if you hadn't have made the decision to go to Texas, to take a pay cut
Yeah.
for the bigger part, but perhaps in the smaller pond than
Mm-hmm.
Broadway, you would have never been given the opportunity to
No,
go to London.
because Amber got sick and the understudies weren't ready. And I had worked with Casey Nicolau, who's the director already. And I remember someone told me, because when the show is going tits up and everything is going to a mess, he was screaming. He was screaming in the theater, "Get Marisha here now!" And then I came. So they were like, "Can you come tonight?" I was like, I can't come tonight, but can I come on the weekend? And I came on the weekend. I packed all my stuff, and I knew I wasn't coming back. I knew I wasn't coming back. Even though they never told me a time,
Yeah.
how long I was going to be there, but they did tell me later that they were like, "You're only supposed to be here for 3 weeks." I was like, "What?" And then 3 weeks turned into me being in that role for 2 years and
Wow.
taking it over and becoming the main Effie. And that people didn't know who I was. No one even announced that I was going on my first night. So when they were like, "Effie," and they think it's Amber Riley, they're like, "Yay!"
Woo.
And they said, "Effie," and then I came out and everyone went, "Ugh." But by the time I sung it, I'm telling you, they all stood. And that was when I caught fire, just like that.
One of those universe moments that
It was I don't even try to predict what's going to happen, because when I think I know what's going to happen, I do manifest the things.
Yeah.
But then I'm always shocked that how the road winds to get to where I want to go.
I think you've touched on something really important there, to simultaneously have a plan for your life and your career,
Mhm.
manifest it, list it, whatever works for you, but also be responsive to the opportunities that might arise in the
Yeah.
moment, and not be so completely fixed, but also
Mhm.
have a plan side by side with.
Because I knew I wanted to be a principal
Yeah.
in a musical or in a show, but I didn't know I was gonna have to move to a different country for 8 years to do it. But it's just I just was in the mode of just saying yes.
Mm.
Remember that book, The Year of Yes, and
Yeah.
so just say yes to everything and then see how it pans out. And then now I'm going back.
So what were your first thoughts and experiences of working in the West End
Mhm.
compared to working in theatre in Broadway?
Yeah, well, Broadway is its whole entity in itself.
Yeah.
It's like the dream.
Mhm.
It's the excitement of New York. I always say it's like London on crack. It's just, as soon as you step out the door, it's like, boom, we're
Bam.
going. I can step out in London ooh, I'm gonna have a tea and then we're gonna move. Okay. But no, this is get out, let's go. So I did love the adrenaline, and I love that I got to that goal.
Yeah.
I think I was 27 when I got on Broadway, which was earlier than I thought. I think the average age on Broadway is 30, which is
Mhm.
very different than here,
Yeah.
where kids come right out of school straight into a Western show. Some of them, which
Interesting.
it's a different kind of pipeline. On Broadway, we work regional theater first. We have to build our resume because you have to be in the union to be able to even audition for a Broadway show.
Okay.
So it just kind of prolongs it
Mhm.
a bit. And now they've changed that now that anyone can sign up to Actors Equity. But back then you had to earn points. You had to be invited, or you had to do it was just a lot of hoops to get there. So when you got there, it was a big, big thing. And I remember I went to an open call for Book of Mormon. So, an open call is where anyone can go without an agent. And that's where Casey saw me. And Casey was like, "Okay, I want you to be in every show that I'm in." And I was like, "What?" And I'm just in the ensemble.
Yeah.
I don't even have a line. I don't even have a line. It's just off my energy. But when I even was in the back, I was in the front. I was like, "You gonna look at me, okay? I'm the star of this section over here." Okay. So that was so interesting that they could see the star in you
Yeah.
before I could even see it in myself. And I think that was what was so incredible about going there. And then when I came to the West End, you guys saw it all. Like you saw, they were like, that's the star we're latching on.
Yeah.
And all the fans that I've made from that first day of Dreamgirls, where they went from to standing, are still with me now. They're still my fans. They still come to all my shows, and they saw it before. And because of that support that I got on the West End, I became the artist that I wanted to be, because there was no limits. And also with systematic racism and how, I don't think people realize the hierarchy of like character types that you can play as a Black woman.
Mm.
And as a curvy Black woman, it's very limited. There's about 5 roles you can play, and I've played them all. Mama Moore, and when you're Motormouth Maybelle, Effie, Becky and Waitress, like all of the sassy sidekick, sassy Black girl roles. That's what we had available to us.
Mm.
And that's what made me, I had to work, I had to make money. This is, you just go with what everyone says you're supposed to do. And then I came here and I was like, wait, I'm not Marisha, the Black actress. I'm just Marisha, the actress and singer.
Wow.
Which changed everything for me, because then I stopped trying to do what everyone wanted me to do and just do what I was good at. And that was not always the sassy sidekick. Not always. I was like, oh, I could be Adelaide. I could be Ada Annie. I could be Sally Bowles. But I don't think that would have happened on Broadway, because one, they may not have allowed it, because the economy of musicals is different as well, because there's so much money on the line on Broadway. It's not subsidized by the government.
Yeah.
It's not, the cost because of the unions and everything is so high. They don't want to take risk on people. And I watched Audrey McDonald go into roles that were not typically cast as Black roles. And I was like, oh, she can do it. But then she could do it because she was thin. And she could do it because she was a soprano.
Yeah.
But if you were in a curvy body and you had a big voice, that was never going to be in the center of the narrative. That was never going to be in front. And so I didn't even have anyone to really look up to do it. So then I was like, well, why don't I just do it? And then someone can look up to me, because I'm going to knock the door down and get there. So, but yeah, it's just been incredible coming here, because I've learned so much. And the person who put Audra in her first non-traditionally cast role was Sir Nicholas Heitner, who put me in Adelaide. And I just thought that was incredible. I was like, oh my God, it's the same person. And he never thought of it that way. He was like, what are you talking about? He's like,
Yeah.
you're just the best person for
Yeah.
the role. So why aren't you doing it? So yeah, it's been amazing.
When you step into these roles,
Mhm.
often for the first time, like
Yeah.
Adelaide in the West End, what does it bring to the roles having a woman of colour play these parts for the first time?
And well, this is a good question, because I feel like people like to say colorblind
Yeah.
casting, and I like color conscious
Yeah.
casting, because I'm still Black. I'm like, I still live where I live. I still come from, which comes with its culture, which comes with its own music, which comes with its own food,
Yeah.
which comes with its own struggles, traumas, triumphs. So that has to come with me to the character. So when I think about Adelaide in the 1950s, I think about, who is she listening to? She's a singer in a cabaret club. I know who I listen to. Like, I'm listening to Beyonce, I'm listening to, Whitney, I'm listening. So she would be listening to Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, like, and this, I use that to inform how I want to sing the part. So then I brought a lot of jazz into this role, which was never there before because of who played it before, because they
Yeah.
brought what they knew
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the role, from their culture into the role. So then I thought about that and how she would dress, like her curves, like we overemphasized the boobs and the butt and the whole thing. And that was also really amazing to bring to the role. So I did a lot of research about, cabaret singers in that time, and people who were working in those clubs and what that meant. So I do like to use a lot of historical context in the backstory of my characters as well, which I really used in cabaret
Yeah.
a lot, because with that one, Well, I didn't even because no one asked me when I was going to go for this park. Um, I was like, "Why has there never been a Black Sally Bowles?" And my best friend says, "There ain't want no black people at that time." I was like, "What?" I was like, "It's 1930, not 700 BC. Like, what's happening? What's happening?" I was like, "There had to be black people there," but I didn't know for sure what that history was
Yeah.
as a black person. And I was like, if I don't know, why do I expect these white people are going to cast me to know? They don't know. Like, if I don't know, why would they know? So then I did a lot of research. There was 24,000 Africans living in Berlin at this time,
Wow.
and loads of American performers, Black American performers from the South were coming to Europe to escape the Jim Crow laws because they couldn't even work in the clubs without certain cards. Like Billie Holiday couldn't work in certain clubs without a card, and they would take that card away from you because you're black or they wouldn't give it to you, but they didn't have all those rules in Europe, like
Yeah.
a cabaret card or whatever to be in it. So a lot of those like Marian Anderson, Josephine Baker, they went to Europe to be able to perform and not have to deal with the racism of the time, because it's very different, because of course there's racism in Europe, but it was never like a law.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, where the government says you can't come into this place because you are black. You cannot buy anything here because you're black. And the government says that. It's a whole different thing than if it's just like, oh, you kind of know I'm not going in that place. You know what I mean? But I can,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to go to jail for it. It's a whole different thing. So I was like, these performers never really were spoken about. Because I remember when I would study the Holocaust and things like that, it would say 6 million Jews, and there'll be one line underneath that said, oh, and queers and blacks and Romanis and disabled people. But I didn't hear their stories. I was like, I didn't know any of their stories. And I was like, this is a way for us to tell the story of these artists through the lens of this incredible play, this musical. And then you go back to the text, because then people are like, well, how does that fit the story? And everything fit, even the things that she said. So my Sally, I made her, I think that she was an American who came over from the South, put on this character of the Toast of Mayfair, because as a black person in this time, the closer the proximity to whiteness that you have, the more successful you could be, the more palatable you could be. So she wasn't black, she's British. That's another way to pass. And then I wear a blonde wig in the show, and I was like, that's another way to pass. So you're not as black, not as, and that's kind of where we start with my Sally, and as it goes, it breaks down, because how long can you not be yourself?
Yeah.
How long can you not um be who you truly are in this place? And she comes here to escape the Jim Crow South, and then now we have Hitler.
Yeah.
So it's like, Jesus Christ, where are we safe?
Yeah.
Where are we free? Where can we ever be free? And that's a universal story. So I don't think so. Then switching the role to black actually makes it even more universal. And I think I never really cared about Sally, because I always thought, oh, she just leave. She's British.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
can go home. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
But when you're black, you don't have no other options.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go back. I can't go forward. I have to choose if I'm going to stay here in this cabaret and die as a star, or do I go back home and be a maid? Like, and I'd rather die here in this cabaret as the person I want to be, which is very interesting.
It's, I'm a softie, but I'm on the verge of tears here. It's such a powerful way of describing how important putting performers who are from a, a load of different backgrounds, because
Yes.
they bring, exactly as you've so beautifully and eloquently described, these performers bring their own culture,
Hmm.
food, music, history with them into
Yeah.
the part.
And it's great, because it's like, don't you want to know the intricacies of another culture?
Yeah.
And then also for this piece particularly, if black people knew that we were there, wouldn't you care more?
Yeah.
If other cultures knew that they were there too, wouldn't we all try to do something to prevent this from happening again? Wouldn't
Mhm.
we all try to stand up to the face of racism in all forms? I think that's why art is so important, especially in this time that we're in. This is how we protest.
Yeah.
This is how we fight. The government can't control what goes on in that room. Like everyone comes into that room and then we can change your mind just like that. We can change your mind in 2.5 hours. Maybe somebody who didn't really believe can be changed.
And on that incredibly important note, the thing, especially about something like Cabaret, the music doesn't change, the
No,
script doesn't change,
nothing.
but the world changes.
Mm,
And that means the prism through which we see a show like Cabaret changes with the time that we're putting it on in. So
yeah.
all across the world at the moment, you've got the rise of fascism and far-right populism,
Hmm.
which must shine a completely different light doing a musical set in Nazi Germany now than it has ever since it was written in the 1960s,
It's
presumably.
been crazy because like a lot of the Americans who've come to the stage are literally in tears,
Yeah.
like crying. But then there was even people from Berlin who were there, like who were crying about it. Like people are just like so moved by how relevant it feels. And people always say, well, what were you doing when Hitler was coming to power? And I was like, well, it's the same thing we're doing right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that we're doing the same thing that, you know, we were like, why didn't anyone stop it? Why didn't anyone say anything? Why didn't it? What are you going to do? There's a song in it called What Would You Do?
Yeah.
Like, what would you do if your whole life is, if everything around you is blowing up? Do you stay? Do you fight? Do you resist? How do you fight? Like, it's very complicated. And I think that's another thing that the show really shows that it's complicated. Some people are going to get out there and protest. Some people want to just live their life.
Yeah.
Some people don't even, as a Black person, sometimes, especially when all the George Floyd and Black Lives Matter was happening, I was like, so can I choose Black joy? Is like Black
Yeah.
joy
Yeah. Yeah.
as a form of protest as well? Like it's so hard to balance that. It's a balancing act of wanting to live your life and then also wanting to help.
Um, Doing a show like Cabaret and performing a part like Sally
Yeah.
Bowles in a socio-political time
Hmm.
like we're in at the moment, has it made you reflect on your art and what it means to be an artist?
Oh my gosh. Well, there's this part in the show where right before I sing Cabaret, I sit at the foot of the stage. And in that moment, for me, I look up and I actually look at everyone in the audience and I'm like crying. But it's like the first time that Sally sees that she's in a play for me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in a play. Like, how did this isn't all the delusion that she's had the whole time comes to like, I have to face the realness of this, what's happening to me,
Yeah.
that this is real. And I think that hits me as a person every day because I'm just going about my life. I'm going to parties, I'm going to musicals, I'm like doing my thing. But then there's a real war going on. There's
Yeah.
like a real
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
thing going on. And I think Cabaret always smacks me in the face and be
Yeah.
like, something's actually happening. But then how do we not keep living is so hard. But that was what Billy Porter was always saying. He was like, "Ooh, girl, we got to go to the Nazis tonight." I'm like, "Oh, I know we gotta go." But then you have to like really be able to take it off. But I really liked having that moment of catharsis.
Yeah.
I think that was because we were like, "Aren't you so wiped out after that? Like, aren't you like?" But it gave me as much as it took from me. Like
Mm.
it gave me, I felt like I was doing something. I felt
Yeah.
like I was helping. I felt like I was,
It's important to be challenged and to
yeah,
challenge people.
yeah. I felt like even though I've cried my eyes out and I've gone through all this, I still felt full at the end. I felt energized, which
Yeah.
is so weird. You would think you'd be depleted, but it gave me as much as it took.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Even when something is draining,
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like it's fulfilling
Yes.
and doing good in
Yes.
the world,
Mm-hmm.
then you feel as full as you do drained, I think.
Yes. It's so crazy
Yeah.
because, but I also feel like I was using muscles that I've never gotten to use as an actor.
Mm.
That was strange because when you're doing a part that was not written for a Black person, I was like, oh my God, is this what white people feel like? All the emotions? I get to use all my emotions? I was like, jealousy, rage, anger, like joy, sadness, like, because it has a real, true
Yeah.
arc. And I was like, oh my God, I get to use every emotion that I have in me
Do you feel
in
that
this
in general,
piece.
when you perform parts that were written for white people,
Yeah.
do you find that they're written with more emotional range? And yeah,
Yes. Well, I heard this like statistic that was really crazy that doctors don't think Black women feel pain as much as white women do. And that's why we have a lot of issues with like maternity, like when we go for births and stuff. When a Black woman says, "Oh, I have this pain," they're like, "Oh, you're all right. Nah, you'll be fine." And it's so crazy. But then that's why I feel like these roles are so much more emotional
yeah,
because they're written for white people. So I was like, this is crazy. But you don't even think about that. I
yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
think about it until I was in it. And
I
I
didn't think
was
about
like,
it till now.
yeah, no, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think, oh, you don't even think that because there's that strong Black woman trope. So they're like, oh, she wouldn't break down and cry.
Yeah,
Black women are strong. Black women take care of our babies. They took care of everything. But then that is what's been so beautiful about doing Sally. I see Black women afterwards and they're just like, you show them everything. You show them what we're like when the door is closed. You show them what we're like when we don't have to be strong. And I was like, that's what I wanted. I wanted them to see the vulnerability, like us ripped open, the strong. I was like, I want to crush that strong Black woman trope because we are strong. We
yeah,
can be strong, but that's so. But we're strong and vulnerable.
yeah, yeah,
We're funny and not funny
yeah,
sometimes. You know what I mean? We're sad and you just showing both sides. But then women in general, though, the roles are not always written with that many layers and textures
that's true.
and I mean Sally's was really well written, but that's one of not a lot of them, you know, because it's usually in service of the man or it's in service of the person, whoever the other lead center of the narrative is, because there's not many roles like that.
Hmm. You spoke just then to uh, Black people coming up to you after these performances and
Mm-hmm.
going, "Oh my God, thank you! I've never seen
Mm-hmm.
me on a stage
Yeah.
before like that." Um, you've just said already that you couldn't see you on a stage when you were growing
Mm-hmm.
up, so you had to be you.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you that little Black girls and Black boys, they can see you?
Yeah. It's incredible. I did have Jennifer Holiday, which was the first time I ever heard a voice that sounded like mine.
Yeah,
It was the first time I ever had a voice that was like a gospel church voice that was singing somewhere besides like, you know, like a Whitney Houston or on a stage, like in a theater way. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds like me. And then from there, I was like, okay, that's what they think we can do. Let's see what they think that we might can do. I'm gonna do that. But I've gotten so many messages, even from when they've just announced cabaret and things. There was a girl on TikTok who was like, you know how like you go into an audition and they're like, write down the roles you think you would be right for. He's like, now I can add other roles that I didn't think I could do because Marisha has done it.
yeah,
Because Marisha did it. I can do it too. And it's just been so wonderful to get that message. And it's not even just Black kids, like
yeah, of course.
curvy kids, anybody who feels like they're not the typical stereotype of a person that you see as the center. They've all been empowered that they can do it. Maybe people who don't come from money or don't have all the resources, they feel like they can do it.
Yeah,
I That's what's been my MO as a performer is to inspire people. And I feel like sometimes we're just so caught up in like climbing, trying to be the next big star, the next big thing, is that you have to look at all the people who are looking up to you as well and trying to leave that door open. So like I'm going through these different doors and I'm breaking these ceilings, but I'm not like patching it up. I'm leaving it open. You know,
yeah, yeah.
I want them
Come
to
and follow
come,
me.
come on, come behind me, come with me because I want I want them to feel like they have an option. And doing this on Broadway is actually really major because it's breaking that stereotype. And my Black girlfriends who are on Broadway, who I've grown up with, like we hustled together, we auditioned together. They messaged me and was like, Marisha, you know, this is going to change everything. This is going to change how they see us. This is going to change how they cast us. This is
Mm.
going to change um, what we're right for. Because I feel like there's a lot of leading ladies of all different types and sizes, white women that
Yeah.
get all different types, all different voice types. But then of the Black women, there's not many. Was just not many.
Yeah.
And it is slowly changing. Now we got Jasmine Rogers and Boop. We have, you know, Audra doing Gypsy. And then we have my friend Aisha, who's in Great Gatsby now. So it's all just starting to change. But it's because of the changes I've made here.
Yeah.
I've seen producers from Broadway being like, oh, this does work.
Yeah.
Oh, you can sell a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where it all goes down to. So yeah, I do feel like people's minds are changing, but it takes one person.
For anyone looking at you, wanting to follow in your
Yeah.
footsteps, what would you say to them in terms of how do they get to where you've got to? What are the practical steps that they need to put in place in their lives and careers?
I think the things that you need to have in place, there's a couple of things. Well, first one is don't wait on anybody to make you a star. That person you think is going to be the one to do it for you, they're not going to do it. Only because everyone's also looking out for their own interests.
Yeah.
So don't wait for someone to make you a star. Go do it yourself. Like, go figure out, because you know people are always looking to the right and the left and being like, how she get that and how she do this? And I was like, oh, actually don't do that. Take notes. like how did she do it? Write it down. You're like, don't say how did she do it? How do you think she better? No, take notes and write them down. There's people that I wanted to have a career like them. I was like, okay, what did they do? What were the steps did they how I followed it. I was like, okay, let me write that down. Another thing is your team. Because a lot of people that I know have agents that they're like, my agent don't care about me. My agent doesn't. I was like, leave that agent.
Yeah.
If you're not happy with your representation,
Move on.
leave. They're working for you. Like, these are the people who are going to make you. If you waste your 2, 3, 4 years with someone who doesn't believe in you, what if you took those 2, 3, 4 years with someone who actually believed in you? How far could you have gone? Like, don't waste your time on anyone. I always say, go find the believers.
Yeah.
Find the people who believe not in who you are now, but actually who you're going to be in like 10 years. That's who you want. You need the people who see the vision, who know what that is. And then also, you need to know what the vision is. Because some people are like, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that, and I want to be this, and all that. And I'm a lot of things, but I'm very exacting about my vision. Also, networking and putting yourself out there. I don't ever understand this. I was like, why would I want to buy a product that you don't even like? I was like, why would I want to work with you and you don't like yourself?
Yeah.
Like, why do I want to I would not get this can of Coke if the Coca-Cola man did not believe in the product of Coke. Like, he loves Coke so much, he put it in red. He wrapped it in red. He's put it everywhere. He's like, look at this. It's a Coke bottle. You need this. That's what you are as a product. Like, you are the product and you're also the CEO of the company at the same time. Like, Marisha Wallace is a thing, but then also Marisha Wallace, the person, is running the thing. Like, and if you can separate those two things, you won't get hurt, because you're going to have a bad day as a businessman. Like, you're going to have a bad day. Sometimes the stock is going up. Sometimes the stock is going down. But you never take that personally. It's just business. You know what I mean? That the product is not selling as much today. So what am I going to do to add, to change? Or maybe I need to show it to someone else. Maybe I need to redirect my branding. Maybe I need to get new headshots. Maybe I need to get a new agent. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? But if you separate yourself from the business, it really helps you to keep going, because a lot of times it is hard because we're artists. We sensitive about our spirit. You know what I'm saying? We sensitive. But I always took those pushbacks and those knockbacks as like fuel. I was like, this is my villain origin story. I was like, you don't think I can do it? Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be like Superman. So yeah, it just I think that's another thing is getting the right team behind you and knowing what you're selling. But at the time when I was coming up, there was very specific types. There was like the ingenue, the character actor, the this, the that. And for a while, I really honed in on the character actor part. I was like, I'm going to be the best at that.
Yeah.
And then I was the best at that, which helped me to grow into my next things that I wanted to do. And don't be afraid to practice your art. You need to be wanting to do that at any time, even for free. I know people say don't work for free. I don't believe in that because I just am like, if you have to love this so much that you would do it if you weren't getting paid. Only because it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Like I love this so much that I would do it for free. Like I have done it for free till you get to a point where you can do it for money.
Yeah.
But like there's so many hours I've put into this that I didn't get paid for. There's so many like times in my room where I was doing vocals, where I've been laying 100 tracks of background vocals. Nobody paid me for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody paid me for that. But I did it because I love what I do. And I think sometimes we get so, because we got to pay our bills, and I get that. And sometimes we get so caught up in, you know, trying to make it, because it is hard out here, but the art still has to live in you. Like you have to do, we're not getting paid enough to do theater. Like for the hours we're putting into that, you gotta love that.
Yeah.
You have to really, really, that's why when the TV people come, they're like, girl, this is a lot for the price. It's a lot. And they're like 8 times a week, all these hours, like for the price. And so I just feel like you just have to really, really love it. And then the money will come.
Yeah.
And then everything will come. Like the money, the people, the investors, the everyone, because they see how much you are invested in it. So I would say invest the hours. It's going to be a lot of hours. And it's also going to take longer than you think. I feel like the people who make it are the ones who just stayed the longest at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fair. Because a lot of people give up before they even get the break, or they give up before they get to the point, because it takes a long time to cultivate all these relationships, because there's so many relationships. I'm still living off the relationships I built 20 years ago. Like the guy I hustled with in New York now runs Playbill.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the guy that was bartending down the road, and we would go to, he's running Playbill. This guy has a film studio now, and this person is running a reality like based documentary production company that wants to help me with a documentary. But he said, remember when we had like $2 and we were struggling? But that takes time to cultivate those relationships, and then you build a network.
Yeah.
Because you're building a network. That's what people don't really understand. That you're building this network of people, and you're all connected. Boom, 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 boom. And then there's going to be a season like now where all those seeds that you planted over those years will harvest, and they come quick, and you better be ready. That's the thing. You can ask God for all these things. You ask the universe for all these things, but then you better ask him to prepare you for when it comes. But ask him to also, but ask him to give you the strength to handle it.
Mm.
And that's another thing. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent,
No,
but
please.
I just feel like everybody wants the fame and nobody wants the pain.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the glory. They want, the announcement, but do you want the process? You want the product, but the process is that's where you're made, in the dark moments when someone said no, when people have told me you weren't good enough, you're not good enough. Oh, you're only good for here. You're not good enough for Broadway. This person has a better voice than you. You have a God-given talent in a different way. That's what someone told me. And this was somebody I loved.
Yeah, yeah.
This is not even an enemy. This is someone I trusted. Like someone I thought, was like, oh, okay. Oh, thank you. But just to have that resilience and you have to believe in yourself so hard. That's why when people are like, I don't know. No, if you don't know, stop.
No one does.
If you don't know, if you don't believe it, you don't believe that you can do it, just quit.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have all of that and more, that faith, that belief in yourself, that confidence. And if it's something like maybe I'm not as strong a singer as I want to be or a stronger dancer, go take a class. Get out there. There's so much stuff that's in your control that focus on that and don't focus on the things that are not in your control.
I heard a great analogy the other day, and that was that a tree is as big down as it is up.
Wow.
And all anyone sees is a bit that's above the ground.
Wow.
But to get it to as beautiful and tall as it is above the ground, there's a lot of work that nobody sees that has to happen first.
Yeah.
And that's exactly as you've described.
It's so much work. And talent is 2%.
Yeah, yeah.
People think, oh, I can
Thank God, because I've got none of it.
I got a till. I can do this. We don't care.
Yeah.
We actually don't care because there's a lot of people can do that.
Yeah.
But the work ethic, that's where the rubber hits the road. It's like, maybe you might not have the greatest voice in the world, but maybe you could outwork that person who can.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever look at that as a deterrent. There's a lot of mediocre people who are doing very, very well. I'm like, don't sleep. Okay.
Guilty.
I'm saying there's
Yeah.
a lot of people who may not be as talented as you, but they're killing it because they have confidence
Yeah.
and they believe in themselves. And like they have created a network. They've connected with the right people. They've been all the hours where you was in your room not doing anything. They've been working at it. So you can't there's just so much that goes into someone being successful. You have to really focus on yourself.
Yeah.
You really can't look to the right or to the left. I always say when the horse is in the stall and they're about to run a race, they got the blinders on. I was like, why do they keep the blinders on? Because if they look to the right or left, they'll go slower.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what I got to do. I got to keep my blinders on and focus so I can run my own race as fast as I can.
You got to forget about the other horses.
You got to forget about the other people running the same race. I only can run my race as fast as I can run it.
Yeah.
And my only competition is myself. I'm really up against myself. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to do better than I was last year. I want to be better. I want to do more. And if you're chasing yourself, that's good.
Yeah.
That's like something you can actually keep up with yourself. Because this other person may have things that you don't know about. They have other opportunities. They may have more money than you. They may have, maybe they know the director. Maybe but I can't focus on that. I have to focus on the things that I can control and the race that I'm running. But how do we all end up in the same place? That's what I love. When it's like, I'm on the same stage with Danny Mays. Danny Mays has done all these films and movies and TV shows that I want to do someday. But we're here in the same place.
On the same stage.
On the same stage. Speaking to each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I ran my race and he ran his and then we met. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so cool that's what's really cool about this industry is that people can come from all different places and we can land in the same spot. And so I think that gives you hope.
It does, yeah.
I think it does. I think it could give people some hope that they could make it too.
Last year you were on Celebrity Big Brother.
Wow.
Have you noticed any change in your career or the options on the table for you since then? Or has it not really changed much because you'd done so much and worked so hard prior to that anyway?
That actually changed my whole career.
Oh, wow.
Since I left that house, there's literally like a chasm in my life, in my career, like before Big Brother and after Big Brother. I think I had done the work before Big Brother.
That's it.
And then Big Brother just went, boom, here's a big old spotlight on everything you've already been doing. And now I'm going to let everyone know, which was incredible. Also, musical theater people, we don't get opportunities like this.
It's true.
To go into the mainstream, The last time musical theaters in mainstream is like the 60s, 70s, maybe 80s. And then it's kind of like to be a musical theater person was not cool
Yeah.
anymore. Do you know what I mean? Or to be a theater person was not in the zeitgeist of the culture. Do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Unless you were in film and then you went to theater,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not like a theater person born and bred. So I was like, this is an opportunity to show the nation what a working actor actually
Yeah.
is, not a George Clooney, not a, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like these
yeah.
are like, oh, we're the real people who are doing this 8 times a week, who are not getting paid millions of dollars to do it, who have sacrificed having kids, having families, having leaving my own country for a dream. And I was like, anyone could relate to that. Anyone can relate to this, to my story. And that's what happened. And people could see me for Marisha, not just the roles I played,
Yeah.
which I thought was really important because I think my story can inspire people. And I was like, okay, this is good. And then from there, it's just been, I don't think I would have gotten back to Broadway without Big Brother. I really don't, because I felt like I needed that little extra bump in my profile to help, it just makes everything better,
But
bigger.
also, had you not done all that underground root stuff
Exactly.
prior to all of that, then nothing would have happened because you wouldn't have had all the foundation that
Exactly.
you
And I
worked
got
so hard to get.
nominated
Yeah.
for the Olivier in the Big Brother house.
Did you only find out when you got out? Or
I
did
found
that?
out in the house in an episode.
Whoa.
That was crazy.
What a day.
But it also gave me credibility.
Yeah.
Because, people are like, well, what do you do? Blah, 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 blah. And then I got nominated.
I'm an
in
Olivier
that.
Award nominee.
I was like, oh, Olivia Award nominee, thank you. Even Louis in the house was like, yeah, this is Nicole. Nicole Scherzinger, she's going to get nominated.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Marisha, she still got to wait her turn. And then we were nominated in the same category. I was like, and what?
Take that,
what's happening?
Louis.
Oh, we're both nominated. Oh, together. Okay, I got it. And I love Louis. But he was told when he saw Cabaret was announced, he called me. He was like, "You're a star. I always knew you were a star. I always knew you were a star." No, it was amazing to bring that to the world. And also, people didn't know what the Olivier. I thought everyone knew what
Me
the Olivier
too.
Awards were until I did Big Brother, and people were like, "Oh, that's a thing." I was like, "No, it's a big thing."
Yeah, it's a big thing.
But it shined a light on that.
Yeah.
And then there would be people in the streets being like, "Oh, congratulations on your Olivia Award." Or I'm going to watch it and things like that. It was crazy. But it's changed my life. And I think because I did that show and people saw everything about me, they saw every side of me.
Yeah.
They saw me, every angle of me, like on camera. I felt so confident after that. I was like, well, what am I scared of?
Yeah.
You've seen everything. You've seen my roles. You've seen my crying. You've seen me sleep. You've seen me eat. You've seen me like, I'm not afraid of anything now. I was like, well, what could stop me from being great?
Was that a liberating experience?
So liberating.
Yeah.
It was like 10 years of therapy in 3 weeks. Because you have no phone. You have
Yep.
no music. You have no
Oh my God.
distraction. So like things that I have not processed,
Yeah.
like my divorce, and I got scammed, and then like bad boyfriends, but that all came back. And it came back and I had to like sit in it
And look at it in the eye.
and just look at it. And you never think a show like that is like, oh, a place where I'm gonna find some like revelation about myself. But so many of us were like, oh my God, I have to sit with my stuff and just process it.
The world's full of distractions.
There's so much
Yeah.
distraction. Because even just going for a walk or going or if you feel something, you call a friend and talk about it, but just to have to deal with it and listen to your own thoughts was wild. And I think that actually helped me.
Yeah.
I think that helped me it made me a better actor, and also getting to observe people in this bubble, how they would respond. Because I was an actor, I could see everyone's body language change. I knew when that person was going to vote me off. I knew if that person like liked me, but they were feeling a little sus, or I could see I was like, oh, those two are about to like fall out, because I had that
Yeah,
sixth
yeah.
sense of like, because that's what we're taught, to how to be with people.
Study people.
Mm-hmm.
be different people, put on different masks. It teaches you about...
That was the crazy part, because I am an actress who plays a role.
Yeah.
And the reality show people are playing a role, but they're also playing themselves.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So then I would look at them doing a bit across.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're at work. I was like, this is work. Oh, this is actually a job. Oh, this is a job.
Yeah.
I didn't know, because I'm
And you
just
were
coming
just
in as
you.
myself, because I'm not playing Sally Bowles. I'm not playing Adelaide. I'm just Marisha. But the reality show people, they have created these archetypes for themselves. I'm the villain. I'm the comedian. I'm the whatever. And I was like, oh my God. Because, you see like a Nene Leakes. She plays Nene Leakes very well. Do you know what I mean? She knows what the people want from that character she's created. So that was kind of a mind spinning thing. I was like, oh my God, this is actually a job for people. And I just came in as myself. That's when I felt a bit green, but I kind of liked that I was myself.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got to just be myself.
Yeah, it's the best way to be.
Yeah, and people were like, you were so kind and nice, and that's how my friends see me. And I was like, if the nation can see how my friends see me, then I've done it. I've done right.
Marisha, we're coming towards the end of
No,
today's podcast.
This has been great.
I could talk to you all day.
I know.
But if we may, I'd like to end on one final question.
Yeah.
And that is, if there's a little kid either watching or listening to this that's out there right now that dreams of being one day where you are right now, what is the one piece of advice that you would like to extend to them?
I would say keep going, because there's going to be a lot of times when you want to stop, and you just have to keep going. And everything is temporary. The things that you're going through, the situation you're in right now, maybe you're in a home where you can't be yourself. Maybe you're in a place, in a city where you don't feel like you can express your art. It's temporary. It's not forever, and that can change. So don't ever feel like wherever situation you're in is going to be that way forever. You can just keep going, just keep pushing through, and go find the people who believe in you. There's so many angels that I've had along the way. I always say God doesn't go, he sends people. And I've been sent. My first teacher, Miss Grantham, who took me to my audition for school and helped me fill out the application forms for my scholarships and for my school. And on her own dime, she was one person. And then I was sent to Casey, who put me in my first Broadway show. And then I was sent, my first manager. And then I was sent Laura, my new manager. It's just like, go find those believers, because they're right under your nose.
Yeah. They're
already there. They're already people who want to help you get to where you got to go. Just go find them, and you can do it. You can look at me. If I can go from a hog farm on North Carolina to singing for the king, then anybody can do it.
Marisha Wallace, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Woo! Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it. You don't have to, but if you fancied it, give us a follow. Lots of love, and we'll see you on the next one.